first mahal yun.
It's fine. Hi everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of the Media Club. I'm Sarah Timilsana, the president of the club, and alongside me I have Kostuvi Thapa, the host for today. And so our podcast is going to bring you a lot of exciting episodes accompanied with many special guests and a variety of topics to be discussed for. Today's episode, we have been joined by The Circle.
I am Reeva. I'm one of the editors of The Circle.
And I'm Ojas. I'm the second editor for The Circle.
So the Circle is an official RBS A-level student-run magazine, and it has recently released its second issue of the year, which is called the Level Up. So what was the initial thought process behind the release of the Level Up as an article?
So, as you said, Level Up was our second issue for the year. And initially, when we were thinking about the theme for the issue, we had two ideas in mind. One was to have a welcome issue for the new A1s, and the other was something related to video games. And what we decided was that the two would work best if they were combined, so that was how the idea for the entire issue was born. And I think it works in a way because A levels as a curriculum, the word level kind of goes with video games in a way, and yeah, we kind of drew parallels between video games and A levels as a whole, and that was how this issue was created.
So the theme of this article is really intriguing to me. You seem to use the word game as sort of a metaphor, one that implies that A-levels comprises of ups and downs and repeating levels. How did you come up with this metaphor, and how applicable do you think it is?
So we started out with a game theme which was based on mostly layout, and it was actually Noor's idea. She's one of the head of arts and layout. And throughout the process, we decided that using game as a metaphor in our pieces would be very effective, so that we could incorporate the game theme in the literary pieces as well as the layout.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense, because I feel like we've also been through so many ups and downs, and the levels are sometimes so hard to reach and sometimes they're easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So like we do understand that Level Up is a sort of guidelines to A1s, right? And it has always been make them aware about the challenging aspects of joining A levels, especially at Rato Bangala, for both like old RBS students and the new RBS students. I probably assume that you both were the new RBS students, right? Not like the old ones. So how do you think there were like differences between the two categories of students, between like leveling up and adjusting to that standard of Rato Bangala's A level?
So I being a new RPS student, so what I noticed was that people who had studied at Rato Bangala previously, they tended to adapt to the A-levels curriculum more easily in a way. And what I noticed was the only difference, according to me, is that the students who had been a part of Rato Bangala since grade 1 or who knows how long, they tended to adapt or fare better in the new environment because they had already been exposed to that environment previously. And yeah, that's the key difference, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, like previously, like the Rato Bangala students had been giving the GCSE course and stuff. So I guess that made them more adaptable, don't you think?
Yeah, and I feel like they were trained for it, like since they were in younger grades. So like grade 9, they start with GCSEs, but we're starting with the NEB curriculum, the SE board. So it's really easier for them, even though they have to go through two different boards.
Yes, I think like following the British curriculum from grade 10 and grade 9 and grade 10 probably helped them adapt to the A-level curriculum better. Also, I think it helped them acquire skills such as time management, because they had to figure out how to deal with the GCSEs and the SEE both at the same time, which we didn't have to do that. So I think we were not exposed to that kind of environment and stress earlier on, so it's more difficult for us.
Yeah, and then even in A1, we weren't so prepared for it, so in A2, I think we're facing the pressure.
So like as along with that, the A2s, our previous A2s, now A3, they had given us advice earlier. Did you guys follow those? Personally, I kind of neglected it at that then, but I really think that I should have listened to them because it really helped. Did you guys get any advice from them? And was it really effective?
we did get advice, but okay, some of them were like actually helpful advice, which we should have followed. Some we did, some we did not. But some of them were kind of like threats in a way. So what they said was, okay, X subject is going to be really difficult, and we were like, okay, what do I do for that? And so yeah, I'd say that the advice that our A3s gave to us could be divided in such a way, which I think it's been the same for the new A1s. Like some of the advices have been really great. Shameless plug, Level Up is one of the examples. And some of them were like just empty, I would say.
Yeah, and I think the advices are usually passed down because like our A3s say the same thing to us and then we repeat the same thing to the A1s, because we don't really realize that when we're in A1s, but after we reach to A2, we're like, oh my god, I should have really listened to that, and then we give those same advices to the A1s. So I think it's really generational now. Okay, so to the next question. And since we're on the topic of experience differences, how different was our year in A1 than to the batch of 2025 or to the new A1s regarding the COVID situation that we faced? I feel like it was a lot more easier to them.
Yeah, I personally, I don't know if it's like wishful thinking or I was actually afraid, but I always thought that we were going to have another lockdown.
Yeah,
And
true.
I mean, I think I was so, like, I had developed such comfort in the lockdown situation. Like, I was happy that I could just stay home and study at home rather than come to school. So I was always thinking that maybe we will face another variant of the virus and we'll be able to stay home and study again, but that did not happen. And it was pretty difficult for us to adapt to, like, everyday school situation because even in grade 10, we personally joined school, like, at the end where we just studied for the SEs and we were just in a rush to complete the courses, and we didn't get the actual school experience. But I think the new A1s, they had a whole year of a good school experience, so I think it's comparatively more easier for them to adapt.
Yeah, it was really hard for us to adjust to the timetables, funny,
Yeah,
because
also everybody was wearing masks, we didn't know each other even after like a whole month of school.
whole year maybe.
Yeah, even after a whole year.
Yeah, like maybe it's only now that we've started knowing everybody else. Like we used to stay in a same friend circle and not extend our boundaries. So A-levels is a very rigorous course, Nini. So on top of all of that, A-levels at Rato Bangala features 27 different clubs. For the most part, students love all those choices, but when you reach to A2, the club memberships tend to burn you out in most cases. So how do you both think that you adjusted in the midst of ECAs and A-levels good rigor?
I think what's going on now with students only getting to pick amongst a handful of clubs is a better idea because when you have all those 27 clubs to pick from, you kind of get overwhelmed. Some people tend to join like a lot of clubs and they're not really able to contribute to those clubs as much as they thought they could. So I think that studies should be your priority in a way, and that you should contribute to those clubs or participate in club activities when you're free or when you think you should, but you shouldn't really bring that over. Let's say you have a test tomorrow, then I don't think you should be partaking in those club activities today, but I think you should be participating in those clubs and not completely neglecting your ECAs as well. And I think that the key to a balance between studies and the extras is the clubs as well.
I think that you should like create some sort of a hierarchy based on your strengths and weaknesses. So if you're weak at something, then you should like put it at your top priority and just focus on that more than other things. And I also recommend going to Miss Bilkis's office for college counseling, because I think if you talk to her and you figure out what's more important for college, because I think that's most of our goals right now, I think that will help you a lot to sort out your priorities.
Yeah. Also in A1, I don't think any of us went to Miss Bilkis to talk about college and college counseling, because for me, I was scared. I was intimidated by her just because I was a new student at RBS. But what do you think should be prioritized more, academics or the ECAs?
I think academics should be prioritized because we're all new to the A level curriculum, so it's very difficult to adapt to that. So you should firstly make sure that you understand where you stand in terms of academics, then focus on ECAs. Like, I think it should just be a balanced process where you take academics and ECAs along, but then you need to make sure that you make a lot of time for academics.
I think it's a burden sometimes because for colleges you need both ECAs and academics, but they look at academics first, obviously. But then again, we've heard so many cases of students with A stars not getting into colleges because of ECAs, right? So it's a really confusing matter.
It's like, since it's like college season for us as well, we don't know which to focus on right now. ECAs, should we boost our ECAs or should we boost our academics? Because like for the A1s necessarily, when we were A1, we didn't do much about it, I guess. Like, we did discuss about it, but then didn't take much action to it.
Yeah, we didn't take much action to it. Also, I think we took it a lot lightly.
I think we're too busy trying to figure out like what to do because we're just all so confused.
So I think it's important for like students to have a mental image of what their application looks like, because only academics or only ECAs won't get you anywhere, and there should be a sense of balance between the two. And yeah, we really need to work on our priorities.
So like continuing on that, we discussed about how the like social life or like ECAs and academics both made like differences in our like choices of A levels and stuff. So like social life is something that is said to be lost in the midst of A levels, right? So what do you guys think of this statement, and was it really true for you guys personally in your experience?
It is true in a way, like a huge part of our social lives was lost due to the fact that we were still adapting to A levels, and we really did not want to have our grades slip away. So it's great if you can balance the two. So if you want to go out somewhere but you also have a test, then I don't think you should be going out, but you shouldn't completely neglect the fact or completely always stay at home, abandon your social life for your grades. So yeah, it just comes down to the way you can balance the two aspects of your life.
I personally did not prioritize my social life before, so it didn't really change. I think it's actually going okay, but then I feel like it's not like at its best state, because I know some people who have like great social life, so it's definitely not at that point. And I feel bad for people who used to have like great social life before and now it's changed and it's drastically slipped down. So I think you just need to know how to manage your time to like contribute energy and time for academics, ECA, social life, family life.
What are you, Sarah?
For me, I feel like I lost something and then I gained something. I feel like I gained a lot of friends. I think the friends I have right now that I gained from Rato Bangala are probably one of the most prioritized people in my life right now. But at the same time, while making those friends, I did feel like I lost my academics skills and my grades did slip. But then as you go through A levels and as you reach A2, you understand that you need a certain type of balance in your life. So I feel like I've created that balance in my life, and so now there's a lot of less hangouts with my friends and there's a lot of more study sessions at the libraries at school. So for the last one of the questions, so after your almost 1.5 year at A levels, what do you think are the do's and don'ts to survive A levels?
Do's and don'ts. I think specifically for RBS, make sure that your uniform is like based on the rules. Don't wear something that's not in the handbook. So make sure that you're wearing your normal uniforms and the leather shoes. That's very important. If you're a girl, tie your hair. If you're a guy, cut your hair. Or if you are a guy with long hair, tie it. If you're a girl with short hair, cut it. So you just have to make sure that you look neat and tidy, of course. And for A levels, I think do's past papers are very important, because I think the counselors and teachers have mentioned it many times that the tests and the exams are based on past papers. So I mean, they say that it's very helpful. I've personally not tried that much, but I think that would be very helpful.
For do's, I'd like to say, please meet your deadlines. Do not let your homework pile up, as I have right now. And for the don'ts, I would say, do not refer to the chemistry textbook that we have prescribed for us.
agree.
It's so bad.
I can't understand a single word of it. Also,
I guess the teachers here are more friendlier, and
Yeah.
they like we get to connect them with them more if we really talk to them nicely. It's like first perspective of them is like, oh, kaso strict sa ba niyan sa. But then like all
They're
that close you
approachable.
go, kasi it's like very easy.
I think the connection was easy to build.
yeah, as you go on, it builds up. It's okay. Like before, we're just scared, and then plus we're new students at RBS, right? So it's inevitable.
And another major do is to go to the staff room to ask your teachers questions.
Yeah.
Because as you said, it's really to build up that easy to build up that connection with teachers, and I think that's really helpful. Okay, so one other do for the students is, I would say, go to the staff room to ask your teachers questions. So it really helps you with the concepts that might not be clear to you, and plus it's great for your recommendation.
Yeah, also for the recommendation, I think you should participate in class a lot, because just like aside from the homeworks and the tests, they also mention that a lot in the recommendation, so that helps a lot.
Also, okay, so I have a do. So I feel like you should really use the library. The library is a gift from the school, really. Like, we misuse it so much in A1, but I feel like it's such a helpful place if everybody is cooperating with each other. So use the library.
So let's ask the man behind the camera from the photographic club, Pratyush from A1. What do you think are the do's and don'ts that you have realized after coming to Rato Bangala's A-levels?
So I learned that do not wear out shoes, wear the leather shoes of the school, and I also learned that do not take the bag inside the library. I learned it the hard way, by the way, and the library is actually a really great place. I also learned that do not use the elevator, and do not use the phone inside the school premises.
So guys, shall we wrap this here?
I think
Whoa, not yet, you guys.
Shall we move on to never have I ever?
we have a never have ever. Okay.
Okay, so first question. Never have I ever asked the kitchen staff for Unit 1 snack leftovers.
I have. I definitely have.
I have as a joke, but they didn't fall for it.
Alright, never have I ever been caught not wearing black shoes.
I have.
Guilty, I have.
I have never.
I have not. It's just my default shoe wear. I don't even polish them at this point. But, it saves me because I have not been caught yet.
I have. I get caught every single biocast, by the way.
One question which I think all of us ever have. Never have I ever used a school elevator.
I
I
have.
have.
I actually got caught in the school elevator once with a group of people, and a teacher decided to just pull me out and ask me, and she told me that मैले त तिमीलाई पहिला पनि देखाएको थिएँ होइन आज बिहान मैले नचलाएको होइन लिफ्ट भनेर. And I didn't actually do that. She just thought I was the one who did that, and this was almost got into trouble for it.
I feel like Sarah B has a story to share.
So I not only got caught in the elevator, but I also got stuck. So like I was with Raksha in the elevator. Like I was already late for a maths class, and I got stuck in the elevator. It was such a stressful moment, yeah. Like never have I ever missed the bus early in the morning.
I have not.
I have never done that. I'm very good with
I
the
probably
timings.
did that last week.
I have not, because I don't take the bus, but I do get scolded by at the gate for coming late.
Fun fact, our vice president, Jenny, she misses bus so much that she stopped using
The
bus.
bus? Yeah, she stopped using the bus because she misses it regularly.
Never have I ever had my phone seized at school.
Never.
I have, and it was not.
Not a good experience. Do we have any more questions?
Ojas and Reeva.
No.
No, I don't bring my phone to school.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it for the podcast. Well, thank you
you
to
guys.
Circle, and congratulations on Level Up. It was a really wonderful article, by the way. I
We
loved every
really
second of
enjoyed
reading it.
Like really deep.
I feel like it was so creative, so
interesting.
no, not interesting. I forgot the word.
Sarah has no words.
So
for it.
engaging. It was so
Oh.
engaging to read. I
Every word, every page was so engaging and so like it relates to everything that happened to us. Okay.
So, do you guys have anything else planned for like the next article?
We are working on a new issue, so stay tuned for that.
So let's hope we can have another podcast with you guys. And thank you to the Photography Club for lending us their member Pratyush for the day to be the cameraman. And thank you to everyone. For watching. School was something on the back of our head, I think. When we think about ECAs, we're only trying to. Okay, I don't know what to say. Cut that out. I know.
For you to understand.
Bloopers na yun.
It's fine.
Camera, roll, action.
Not yet, you guys.
I guess the podcast came out late.
I hope the podcast is not going that way.